Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark and this is Richard, and we bought a 2008 Sealine SC35 with no interior at auction. If you are new to our channel, please check out our other videos, as this will help you understand progress on the project so far. In last week's video, we finally bonded the forward cabin bed module into place after months of working on making moulds and manufacturing new fiberglass parts. So in today's video, we'll be fitting the chain locker base and glassing the bed module into place. So let's get straight into it. Alrighty guys, so back on the boat this morning. The bed module is now all bonded into place, so all the epoxy has gone off nicely. So today we're going to be working on the anchor chain locker up here, so we need to get the base into place. So we've got this here, so we just need to trim, see where we've made some pencil marks here, just need to trim this a little bit so that this will then slide back. We're going to epoxy that into place, and then hopefully we can get some polyester and some chop strand mat and then blend that up onto the hull there. And also we're hoping to try and get some chop strand mat across here as well. I think we need to just clean this a little bit of the hull here. We've got these red dots or paint, not sure what that is, but we'll get that off, and then we can use some 600 gram chop strand mat, and then we'll tear it at the end so it blends nicely onto the hull. I mean, this is super strong anyway. We've got this epoxy down the back here, so this is super strong. But just gonna belt and braces, put the chop strand mat on there as well on both sides, and we're also going to foam fill this as well. So hopefully we're going to come in afterwards later on in the project, and we're going to fill this with 2-part foam. So this whole module, I mean, it's really strong already. If I just press on here, it's really strong. But once we've done all of this and then put the 2-part foam in as well, I think it's going to be super strong. Hopefully probably stronger than the original factory mold. So let's get straight to work. Okay, so we've just come in and just cleaned up the sides of the hull again. We have done this previously, but we've just still got a few spots of red paint that was left over from the factory plug. I think it was the coating they used on the factory plug, so we've just got rid of all those little spots now. So that looks a lot better. And then we've come in with the chain locker base, and we've got that fitted now, and we've got that notched out here. So we've got a nice tight fit across the back here. So what we're going to do now is we need this chain locker base just to tilt forward slightly so that we can get the water away into the primary drain. We've got a secondary drain here, backup drain, but the primary drain is going to be out the bow of the boat. So we just need this to tip forward so we can get that water away, a little bit of fall. So what we're going to do is just cut some strips of ply that will actually go underneath this, and the base can then sit on those strips of ply. We'll put them on both sides, and we're going to use stainless steel screws fixed through, coat it in epoxy so it's nice and waterproof, and then that should give us that fall that we need to get that water away. Okay, so we've just come in and epoxied these strips on the back. So I'll just show you in here. So we've got these strips in here, so they've been epoxied on, screwed on, and then we've also coated them in epoxy as well. So that should make those nice and water resistant. And then we've also just filled up the bottom there with epoxy as well. So what we're going to do now is get another mix on, and we can then drop the base onto these fillets that we've put in, and also some epoxy here, and then we can drop the base down. So we are mixing chemicals. We're going to have epoxy on the bottom side, that's just to make that nice and strong, and then we are going to go polyester on the top side of the base, and the reason for that is so that we can flow coat it afterwards, because we'll need to come in and flow coat all of this chain locker afterwards, and we can't flow coat on top of epoxy. So we've got the strength of epoxy underneath holding everything into place, and on the top side we've got polyester, which will mean we can come in and flow coat everything, and it'll be nice and waterproof. Okay guys, so chain locker base is now in. So you can see here, put a bead of epoxy down the back here onto those pieces of ply that we're also epoxied in. And then we've got a blob of epoxy underneath here. We've not bothered with the sides because we're going to come in and glass those. So that'll all be fine, nice and strong. We have just filled this hole, so we'll have to come in afterwards, let this set up, and then we'll have to come in and just sand this just before we can put any polyester on top. And then we've also come in here and epoxied a new secondary drain tube in as well. And we've also put some epoxy on the outside of the hull, so that's now protecting that balsa core inside the hull. So that's perfect. So what we're going to do now is just put the heater on, let that set up, and then we're going to come in and just start to glass these side mouldings into place onto the hull. Okay, so we're just coming in here and giving the hull a final prep, quick sand, wipe with acetone. There was some spots of epoxy from when we'd fitted the bed module, so we just wiped those with some soapy water, gave them a quick scrub, dried it, and then came in and sanded it, and again gave it a wipe with acetone, ready for the glass. guys, so the bed module is now tabbed into place. So we've got a cut edge down here, so we cut this and then we tore the chop strand up here so it blended nicely into the hull, and then we used the surface protection wrap just on the top here just to keep the resin off the top. So yeah, that's turned out really nice, we're really happy with that. So I'm just going to leave that to set up now, and then we've got the same on this side as well, and again that looks really nice, feathered into the hull. So we've got epoxy and this tabbing holding this bed module in place, and we've still got the two-part foam, flotation foam, to go underneath here as well, which will also bond this to the hull. So once we've got all those three things in place, this should be really nice and sturdy. We didn't unfortunately get tabbed in on the chain locker, just because we were waiting for this epoxy to go off around here, around this tube. So what we'll do is once this has gone off, we'll just cut this nice and flush, and then we'll be able to come in with our chop strand mat and tab all of this in. We'll probably put 2 layers of 600 gram, just because we've got the weight of the chain in here. Obviously we've already got the epoxy in place anyway, so it's going to be super strong, but yeah, 2 layers of chop strand mat on that, and that should make that nice, and then we can come in with some flow coat and finish it off. So that's going to be a wrap for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.